Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 21911 Southeast Oak Street here in Gresham. We're located at the front of the house here. The part that's visible is kind of the front left corner of the house that you can at least see before going through the fence. Right out here we have a 4-inch ABS cleanout. It has no cap on it. I highly recommend getting a cap for it. You'll see here in just a second, unless it's has made its way at this point. There was a bunch of grass sitting down the bottom of this. A whole bunch of junk there. I'm sorry, it's a bunch of pine needles. That stuff will clog your line up like crazy. This needs to get a cap put on it. I've already done 2 or 3 different toilet flushes and it still hasn't moved it out of the way there, so a cap might cost you about $3 at the store. It's definitely worth getting one. Anyway, we're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. Now, this little stringy thing hanging across the line there, it's blowing around in the air just moving through the pipe. Typically, roots won't do that. That looks like just some cobwebs stretched across there. Roots are much heavier and will generally dangle down into the flow line and not stretch across like that. And that's looking like just a spider web. A little standing water here. Transitions over to 3034 PVC pipe. Looks like it's just a little bit of standing water before the transition. Doesn't look significant hardly at all, but we will look at that when it's all drained out at the end. Typically I don't see debris hang up in bellies until you have at least 5 feet of pipe with at least 1 inch of standing water static with no water running inside. That there is like barely a foot of pipe with it'll probably drain out to just about nothing. And here at 36 feet we have reached the main lateral connection. I'm going to do locates to verify where this is at, and then at the end, once it's drained, we're going to reverse direction, scope back into the house. We're sitting about 10-15 feet out from the foundation right now. Alright, located the camera head successfully out the main on Southeast Oak Street. Line does deviate a little bit, but it essentially does a straight shot out from the clean out. If you have any plans there's a bunch of wide open space here. If you have any plans to plant a tree, I would keep it, if you kind of draw a straight line with your mind from the clean out to the main, you want to keep anything at least 10 feet off to either side of it. Looks like we're just down to a trickle at this point here. We're going to go ahead and start reeling in. That's really the only deviation it makes there. It, for the most part, does a straight shot out. Anyway, there's that spot here with a little bit of water. It's no big deal at all. The only thing that's going to hang up there is if you're putting things that really should not be going down the line. That is extremely minimal. Nothing I would ever recommend repairing. Just don't flush paper towels and tampons and things like that down the line. Regular old toilet paper will scoot past that with no issue at all. We have a little bit of separation in this joint here. There's no evidence, and all that stuff right there are pine needles that we knocked out of the way from the clean out. There's no signs that that's open to the ground there. It still appears to be closed off to the ground around it. And we're just about back to the clean out. We're going to reverse direction and scope back towards the home. This right here appears to be similar. If you look at the pipe joint, there's a little bit of pine needles there, which kind of do look like roots right immediately. But if you look at the pipe joint there, there's nothing leading away from the joint to that stuff there. It looks like it's just some pine needles that hung up. Which is what they do, and that's why they catch so much toilet paper if they ever get down your line. They're sticky and sharp and tend to snag stuff real easily. But everything from the clean out to the main lateral connection there is in good condition, has good flow, and is functioning properly out this time. Alright, we're now heading back towards the home here. Now we'll do one more toilet flush here in a moment. If those pine needles don't move out of the way, I'm going to recommend a HydroJet to clean them out. Because anything that hits those is going to come to a stop pretty easily. Now we've got some standing water here. So this right here is an example of standing water that concerns me. There's a fair amount of it. This is around we're getting closer to about 3 inches of standing water here. The pipe's almost completely full. And it might get to that point here. But this is significant and something I do recommend repairing. That amount of water will catch, it doesn't matter how careful you're trying to be, that will catch even just regular old toilet paper. We're going to take this back in here a ways and make sure there's nothing else like that going on. That right there, you know, there's the chance you could have something going on up there. There's so much debris though that it makes it extremely difficult to tell if it's just debris buildup or if you have damaged pipe there. There's a lot of junk at that spot. What happens if you ever get a clog is it'll back up, fill up the whole pipe, and deposit stuff on the top of the line. And as time goes by, it'll dry and start to kind of flake and fall off. There is the potential, though, that we could have a problem there. We just don't get a good view of it. And that's as far as we're going to be able to go there. We're 60 feet back into the house. That's likely the very end of the line there. So what I would recommend in this circumstance, because we cannot see what's going on right here, I am concerned that you could have damage to the top of the pipe there. So I'm going to recommend a HydroJet, or you can talk to the drain clean companies, see if they have a better way of doing it. But I recommend cleaning the line here and re-scoping it to see if there is something going on there at the top of the pipe. It almost looks like the top of it's broken, but there's also so much junk built up there that I can't verify it at all. Unfortunately, there's just too much debris in the way. Aside from that, though, we're going to go locate this belly. And my monitor is getting really close to the battery running out here, so I may have to locate all this stuff off this video. It might not be on the recording here. I'll make sure it's in the report. Alright, the belly dissipates out here 24 feet. And we've got a lot of water here. It looks like it's got 3 to 4 inches of standing water in it. It's a very significant belly. And if this is underneath flooring or something like that, I'm going to use blue painter's tape to mark the location of it. Otherwise, I'll use white paint to map it out. And starts here at about, all the water finally dissipates here at about 11 feet and extends to about 25 feet. Alright, we are at 3 feet 5 inches deep here, and we are just inside the front doorway. So this is underneath the floor. I'm going to get this mapped out here before my monitor dies, but we'll put blue painter's tape on the floor. And I highly, highly recommend a spot repair to correct this. This is a belly that's going to cause a backup at some point. And then re-scope it after the repair is done. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and reel the camera out here. We got a blue painter's tape X at each end. It's in the little hallway leading up to the front door. And we're about 4 feet deep at the start of the belly there. And then about 3 feet 5 by the time you're at the end of it, depending on what direction you're looking at it from. Definitely get that repaired there and get it re-scoped. A lot of this stuff happens at the time of installation, so you want to make sure that looks good before the repair guys pack up and go. And that's in 3-inch ABS pipe there. We just went through the transition on the way in. And these pine needles here, I don't know if they're going to make their way out. So because I'm going to recommend a jet, we'll do a few more toilet flushes here to see if it moves any of this stuff. And we have a flush coming down the line right now. So part of the problem here, I think this stuff might actually make its way out on its own. The problem is you have a very significant belly right before this that's slowing the flush down like crazy. The toilet flush coming through here looks like you have a sink running at a trickle. So that one's kind of hard. I'm going to recommend a jet just because I don't know if the toilet flush is going to move that on its way. But it very well could once that belly's corrected. So aside from the belly there, and then a possible break at about 49 feet, which needs to be hydrojetted and rescoped to even verify it, the rest of the line's in good shape and functioning properly at this time. And I push back in here to locate this real quick. This is actually right next to the mini split system on the outside of the house. I had to pull the camera back a little bit to even locate it. I located it about right here, just before it passes through a wall. It looks like the line goes through the house and then comes back out of it and then goes back in again. So wherever that's at there, I've got a blue painter's tape arrow pointing the direction it's going. It's probably about 6 inches inside that arrow, but it looks like it's like about smack dab in the wall. So keep that in mind when trying to figure that out. I recommend the spot repair to correct the belly from 11 feet to 25 feet, and then a hydrojet to clean the line and clean that stuff up there so a rescope can see if there's a hole in the top of the pipe. Aside from that, everything else that we scope is in good shape and has good flow and is functioning properly at this time.